Hi, my name is Amy Fallman. I'm a physical therapist, and this time on Physio in Your Pocket, we are going to cover TENS units and muscle stim units. So I've got some questions recently about what type of electrical therapy unit to use, or what's the difference, which one's better. So I'm going to cover, there's two major categories of electrical stim units, and which one you want depends on what you're going to use it for. So the first type is called a transcutaneous electrical nerve stimulation, or a TENS machine. So a TENS machine is used primarily if you're using it for pain. These are mostly used if you have chronic pain or you're trying to enhance your recovery. Okay? The mechanism behind this is more in a override the sensory input to the brain. So if you're in pain, you're getting a pain input to the brain, and what this does is stimulate different types of receptors in your body that sense movement and vibration, because that's why you get that little vibrating movement with the TENS machine, and that will tell your brain that you're feeling some vibration or movement, and it overrides the pain input. So it actually works quite well as a pain modulating mechanism. If you're in chronic pain, this can be a really good tool to help decrease the pain that's not pharmaceuticals. And if you're using it for recovery, if you're really stiff or sore, you've done a lot of hard workouts, you can actually use it to override those really bad soreness. However, just be careful with this, because you don't want to try and change that input so that you can just train harder. Obviously, that's going to put you at higher risk of injury. Now, the second type of unit is called a neuromuscular electrical stimulation unit, or NMES. Now, those units are geared more towards muscle contraction. So let's say you're trying to facilitate a certain muscle during a certain movement, like a squat or a deadlift. You want a muscle to fire, to kick in. Those units work really well for that. The electrical input tends to be more intense, and you can actually feel it sort of cause the muscle to contract and bring on a muscle contraction to enforce a muscle contraction as you're using it. So depending on what you're using it for will depend on which unit you should get. You can get units that do both, but they're quite a bit more expensive, so that you'll need to factor in. The other thing is there is some crossover, so that a TENS unit can be used to do a bit of muscle contraction, as well as a muscle stim unit can be used to do a bit of pain control, but they're not the greatest. Like, you would want to be optimal, you would want to use one for one and the other for the other type of treatment. So those are the things you want to think about. Other than that, cost will obviously depends on brands and makers. Other things to think about are if you are using the unit alone, or if you're going to be sharing it with people. Sometimes the pads have a sticky kind of gel substance that'll stick to your skin, and you need a interface between the electrical pad and your skin to be able to transmit the impulse from the pad through your skin to the tissues underneath. That sticky substance becomes that interface. However, if you're going to be sharing the pads with someone else, that actually can't be cleaned well. So they really are for personal use, and that does wear out. The other thing you can use is a pad that doesn't have that interface, and then you need a gel substance like an ultrasound gel to put between the two to cause that interface that you can get the electrical signal into your body. But those are really the main considerations to think about, and you can make the call from there. If you have any further questions regarding this, please don't hesitate to reach out, or if there's other topics you want me to cover, you can email me at info@amyphysio.ca. And I hope you found this useful, and I'll talk to you again soon.